Okay. Cornelius Nepos 4. Acqui, and in this place it shouldn't be praeterundum, it shouldn't be passed by the fact of Pharnal Barzai, the satrap of the king. For when Lysander was prefect to the fleet, he was in charge of the fleet, in the war, many things, cruelly and avaricelessly, he did. And he was suspecting, concerning these things, that something would be perlated or ferried or taken to his citizens or the people from where he belonged. So he sought from Pharnal Bazo that he would give a testament or some evidence on his own behalf that he could give to the ephors, by which how much sanctity, how much how well he had conducted the war, I guess, with how he'd treated people, and how he'd handled Tractacet, how he'd handled his allies, that he should write something accurate concerning these that he could give to the ephors. 2. Illy, he, Pharnal Bazus, whoever he is, liberally or generously, he promised the dative, he promised him this, a grand book he wrote with multis verbis, with many words, in which he affirted great praise, or he lauded him with great praise. Whom, when he read this thing, and he approved it, he had approved of it, while it was being sealed, another, with equal magnitude, equal size, and such in similitude, I guess, in length, because it had many words, so it probably had a lot of pages, so that he was not able to discern or distinguish. This was subjected and sealed, so they did a switcheroo, in which, most accurately, because he'd asked up here for an accurate writing, now it's very accurate, and accused him of his avarice and perfidy. 3. Lysander, this bit's deleted, when he'd returned home from Asia, after his rebus gestaces, after concerning what he'd done amongst the greatest of the magistrates, the things which he'd wanted, he had said, in place of a testimonial evidence, he gave the Datum Librum, the book which had been given to him from Pharnabazo. With Lysander removed, when the ephors got to know this writing, then they dederanted it to him for legendum. A verb of motion here, dederant, which in medieval days they use infinitives, back in the old days they used supines. So when they gave it to him for reading, thus he, imprudent or ignorantly, he was his own accusator. Okay, so the very first bit of Nepos's work is his prefadio. I don't doubt for in future there'll be many people, vocative, Atticus, who this type of scripture or writing is light and not satisfactorily worthy, they will judge, of the lives of the greatest men, when they read what is relatum, what's been related or written, who taught music to Epimodium, for example, double dative of docio, or in the virtues, how he's remembered to have danced commodiously or very well and scientifically and knowingly, and he could cantasse on the tibis, he could play the flute. 2. Said high, but these, they will be ferae almost, who are expertes, which third declension, so it means it's inexpert, they're not experienced with Greek letters. They will think that nothing is right unless what is convenient or fitting to their own moribusses, their own mores. This is what they will put upon, what they will think. These people, if they didn't learn, if they learned that there's not the same things to all people, honest and foul, or each side of the coin here, what's right and what's wrong, is not the same to all people. But everything is to be judged by the institution of your own ancestors, of the way they did things. They will not be surprised that we, Secudos, we have followed the mores in these virtues of the Greeks in exponending and placing them out or setting them out according to Greek mores, it looks like. For neither was a Kaimon terp. He wasn't a foul creature. He was the greatest man of the Athenians. It's in the how he's considered in the ablative. He had his Germanum sister. He's a sister from the same parents. When he had them in matrimony. Okay, so he wasn't disgusting. This man who married his own sister, since when his own citizens used this same institution. So amongst the Athenians, it must be all right to marry your sister. But this, quidem indeed, by our mores, is considered nefas, or bad. Okay, Lordi in Creta ducata. So it is ducated, it is thought that in Crete, for praise for adolescents, was quam plurimus, as many as possible to have amateur's love. So in Crete, to have had as many lovers as possible, quam plurimus, is something for praise. Looks like double dative. No vidua, no widow or unmarried woman of the Lacedemonians, of the Spartans, temes nobilis, such as a nobility, which conductor means hired, merke by a reward or money. It means that she goes ad canem to dinner. There's a bit of dispute about what this really means. Probably means she shouldn't have sex, is what some people have proposed. But if you take it literally with canem, it just means no unmarried woman, even being a nobility, would be paid to go to dinner or to be a prostitute, however you want to interpret it. Tota ferre, there was, for the Greeks, nearly all of them, to be cited or called a victor at Olympia. This comes in great praise, magnus in laudibus. But on the stage, to produce yourself and to the people and to be a spectacle, nemine. So in this same race, it is not of a turpitude. It's not of some thing to be thought down upon with the Greeks. But I think Romans usually frown upon it. Quae omnia, which things all, apud nos, with us, they're partly infamous and partly very lowly. And they are placed or thought of as very remote from honesty to be on the stage. Contrarily, 6, these things are decorous, or all of these things which are decorous or honourable by our moribus, which apud these iloses, these Greeks, are thought to be terpia. Another using the same type of word, turpitudes and foulnesses, etc., is thought to be disgraceful, maybe. Enim quem, for whom of the Romans would be ashamed to lead his wife into a party or a feast, or of which would not the mater familias, that's the opposite of the pater familias, that's the head of the household or the matron of the house, she would hold or go into the first locum of the adium. The first room, the front room, is the atrium. So the mother of the house or the woman of the house would actually go into this room, and she would live versatile, or conduct herself in celebrity, meeting people or having discussions with them. 7, which multo, by a lot, happens differently, alita in Greece. So in Greece, the woman's not allowed to be seen or go into that room, I guess. Okay, daily dictionary. Turpis, terpia would be the neuter plural. Okay. And if you start putting in terp words into here, it'll probably give you a turpitude, turpida, there's the adverb of it and all that. Turpis, the adjective form. Where were we? 7. Oh no, we've done that. For neither into a party can any woman be applied or come into or called or summoned or allowed in unless it is of a relative. So you can't come to a feast unless it's of a relative. Nor can she sit, nisi, unless it's in the interior part of the house. So here's the front part of the house is the atrium, and the interior part's probably dining room, bedroom, etc., which are called the gynecologist's room, the women's room in Greek, where the women live, to which no one can no one can go in there unless he's conjoined by some sort of close cognition. Unless he's a close relative, you're not allowed to go into these interior parts. 8. Said, but to follow this more is prohibited. We have cum and tum correlatives. So equally by the magnitude of this volume, and tum also by the haste it's got to be written. As I explicem this, as I unfold this or explain these things, which ex awesome sum, which I've begun. Doesn't look like a question, so it's therefore to the purpose proposition we come to the purpose of this we come to, in which I exponemos, I place out in this book, or I write, concerning the lives of the most excellent was that generals or leaders or something.